All right. So finally we come to the pitch deck, which is going to be a slide deck. It's going to be just a small series of slides that you would normally present at a meeting and then usually send as a PDF in an email to a platform or publisher. So generally speaking, you would have a meeting in person at an event, and then immediately after that, you would email the same slide deck in PDF form to the people, to the person or people that you talked to, with a short summary of what it contained and what you talked about in your meeting, and some kind of ask, what you're actually asking for. So this is going to be the format for your assignment. It'll be 4 slides. Slide 1, key art and title, where key art is something kind of specific for this. Slide 2, what you want from the viewer. In this case, we're going to pretend that your viewer is a platform holder and you are pitching to be on a platform. Slide 3, it's going to be your elevator pitch and 3 to 5 key features. These are usually key, they could be gameplay mechanics. Sometimes they're things like story. Sometimes it's the aesthetic. And then slide 4, for you, your best inspirational concept art. So key art, a little side note on this. Key art is the key piece of art created for promotional purposes for your game specifically. It is not in-game art and doesn't need to be in the same style. It's usually, if your game is a pixel game, your key art might still be painted, and that's fine. But again, it's kind of selling the fantasy, right? It would show up usually on physical banners, store pages, social media, in your press kit, etc. You want that image to be plastered everywhere because that's the image that's going to be associated with your game. And it can change, but you should be careful about changing it. It would also contain your logo if you had one. For the purpose of this assignment only, and I want to be clear, this is not something that you can do in the real world, but for the purpose of this assignment, choose one of the artworks from your mood board to represent your key art. Choose the best thing that you think, if you had hired this concept artist to make this concept for your game, this is what it would look like. Normally, you would need to pay an artist for this, or you'd be working, there would be an artist on your project who would be responsible for this. Using art without permission is misrepresenting your game and could be grounds for the artist to file a lawsuit for copyright infringement in the real world. So we are not using these for real world purposes. This is only for your assignment. But yeah, choose the best artwork from your mood board, and that will be your key art in quotes for this game. And then you'll also be including your title. Slide 2 will be your platform. So pitch decks are created for meetings with specific stakeholders. If you wanted to be on multiple platforms, you would make different versions of your deck for each one. So if I was going to talk to Nintendo and then I was going to talk to Sony the next day, I would have 2 different pitch decks that are geared toward each of those stakeholders. You would not give them the same one. And they do usually, they'll be very specific in who they're for. So for this assignment, choose one platform for your game that you intend for it to be on and make clear which one. And make clear what you want from them on the slide. So you're going to be saying this pitch deck, it'll say for Nintendo Switch, for consideration to be a developer on the platform or to produce this game for your platform, something like that. As a side note, platforms don't generally fund games almost ever. So you are not going to be asking for money. That's not your ask in this case. Your ask is permission to be sold on the platform. You may add a list of platform-specific features that you would include in your game. So things like achievements, HD Rumble, cloud saves, whatever there are different things for every platform that are kind of specific to that console or the PC platforms. So do some research and find out what makes that platform unique. This is a real world thing. You want to sell that you're interested in them specifically. So what are you going to do to make your game special on their platform? Okay, so I got 2 questions. Can this contain a video of the game? In your presentation, so the short 2-minute presentation that you do for the class can contain footage from the game if you want. But it wouldn't be part of your slides. It would, unless it's just a link to a trailer or something like that. But you can show footage if you want to. And then the second question, in the real world, it's possible that we don't have a dev kit at this point in the project. Yeah, you wouldn't have a dev kit. Like, this is you asking permission to have a dev kit, which you could ask. You could put on your pitch deck if you want. Okay. Slide 3 will contain your pitch and your key features. So this will be the 3-sentence pitch that you just developed, and then 3 to 5 key features about the game. So this is where you're taking basically your core mechanics, and anything else that really stands out about your game. So the features are usually gameplay oriented, but if you think that your art direction, your music, or your story are key selling points, and they are for some of your games, then including a point about that is good. And then slide 4 is going to be inspirations and contact info. So in a real pitch deck, you would not include inspirations. You would include gameplay screenshots or concept art here. But because this is a prototype, you'll be including 2 or 3 of the pieces from your mood board here in order to sell the fantasy of what it would be like to play your game. Make sure to include your professional contact information at the end. So that means an email, and your name, maybe your Twitter, or your game's Twitter if you want, or your game's website if it has one, or your company's website if it has one. But generally speaking, you're just going to be including your email and name. And that's it.